Hey guys, how's it going? Quinn at Snazzy Labs. I'm very tired. I'm very stressed with finals. It's currently 12 a.m. It's midnight. I won't be really going to sleep anytime soon. But I wanted to do a little video on this because I got it today in the mail and a lot of people were interested, and I wanted to kind of show you what it is and ask you if you want to see a video about this on the real channel. Let me know in the comments below. It's called the Teclas T-Pad. And the reason this is cool, there are several T-pads. This is the latest version is the X98 Air 2, which came out literally a couple months ago. This tablet runs about $220 from China. You can get it on AliExpress, eBay, several different places. And it takes a while to ship from China. It took about a month and a half to get here for me. The exterior specs are nothing special. It has a 5 megapixel camera right here, which is tremendously bad. A lower resolution camera on the front, which is unusable. You have some Chinese writing here. You have an Intel Inside logo because there is an Intel chip that we're going to talk about. And then you have the model number, some FCC information, which I'm sure isn't approved. And then you have two speakers, which actually sound really pretty nice. They sound better than the iPad speakers, which was surprising. Here on the bottom is where some of this magic happens, and I'm going to show you this in a minute. You have your micro USB port, your headphone jack, and an HDMI out. You also have your microphone right here, and you have an expandable SD card slot. This thing comes with 32 gigs of storage by default. You can expand to 128 with an SD card, which is really pretty nice. As you can see, it's quite thin, and the size of it it's pretty large. I mean, it's larger than an iPad Air, largely because the aspect ratio is 16:9 rather than 4:3. But boy, does it look really, really great. This is all metal. It's cold, it feels nice, and then you have your Wi-Fi antenna strip here for better reception. Now, as you can see, it's broken already on the first day. And this is partly my fault, partly the tablet's fault. I started to restore Windows because Windows 8.1 RT comes installed on this. And it was in Chinese, and there were some weird admin settings, so I just wiped the iPad and restored from the recovery. During the recovery, for whatever reason, it turned off. I don't know why. It was plugged into the wall. It didn't run out of battery. I don't know. Anyway, fact of the matter is, the thing turned off, and it refused to turn back on. For hours, I couldn't turn it back on. I looked on forums for a little while. I was studying for finals, so I didn't do it very much. But I looked for a minute to see if anyone else had had this problem. And it looked like the general consensus that mine was dead on arrival. So I was pretty mad. I asked for a refund from the seller from whom I bought it. And just out of frustration and out of curiosity, I wanted to see how strong the screen was. And I pushed really hard in the top right-hand corner. With great force, the display finally did break. It's definitely not as strong as an iPad display, but it's not weak either. It's not Gorilla Glass, but it's not horrible. But now I have a broken display, and ironically, the second I broke it, for whatever reason, the tablet turned on, and it's been fine ever since that minute, which is really, really weird. Anyway, as you can see, it has a really nice display. I wish I could really show this to you. I will in the real video that I do if I decide to do one. It's running a 20, I don't know, it's running a UHD display. I don't remember the exact resolution. We can actually find it here in a second. But the reason this is interesting is because it's actually pretty solid in terms of specifications. It comes with 32 gigs of storage, as I mentioned. There's 2 gigabytes of RAM, but it uses the new Intel Atom Z3736F from Intel that came out in Q2 of this year. And the reason it's cool is this is one of those all-in-one chips with the GPU and everything included. That's really pretty impressive. It's a quad-core processor. It's a 64-bit processor, but for whatever reason, they're only running a 32-bit operating system on the device. And it looks like it's using a legal licensed version of Windows RT, which is actually surprising from a Chinese manufacturer. The base clock speed is 1.33 gigahertz, but you can overclock it from Intel's own tools to 2.1 gigahertz. So theoretically, it should play some games all right, and we'll get to that in a minute. But the reason it's cool is because I wanted to see the resolution too. So let's go here, and while we're at it, you can see that we can dive into the tools. Intel provides graphics properties. You can change the display, the coloration, the resolution, just about anything you want. So right now it's at a 2048 by 1536 display. That's a little bit better than 2K, and it does look really, really nice. And then there's a 60p hertz refresh rate, so that's really nice. And the display really does, it looks phenomenal. I mean, I'm not just saying that, it looks really, really nice. Before this video, I put it into performance mode, but all day I've been using it on balanced mode, and the processor hasn't been slow by any means. I mean, it's not a Surface Pro 3, that's for sure, but it doesn't feel slow. You can see here from the start menu that everything is quite snappy. It's very responsive. It really, really works quite well, especially considering that it just has 2 gigs of RAM. I wanted to show you a couple things. The first one being the ability to show 4K video. Obviously, it's not a 4K display, but it is better than 1080p. So this is a video from Devon Supertramp, and you can see when it starts, it glitches a little, but after it has a couple seconds of rendering, it'll play in 4K resolution without any stutter or any glitch. And I wish you could see the display up front like my eyes can see it. It is a really, really good display. Like, really good, which is interesting because it's such a cheap tablet. It's about $220 on these Chinese websites, and that was really surprising to me. It looks much better than the iPad mini, and though I haven't seen the iPad Air 2, the resolution is better, so theoretically it should look better. It's a really, really good looking display, which was surprising to see in such a cheap tablet. If we go back to the start screen, you can see that there is Windows RT, and so as a result you can get the desktop as well and run desktop native Windows apps. You can also run apps from the Microsoft Store, like the Netflix app is an app that isn't a native Windows app per se, but it is very tablet friendly. So it does kind of provide you with a tablet experience in a sense. And the streaming quality from Netflix was pretty good. Actually, ironically, got better results from the browser than from the official app, but it did look pretty nice. It wasn't 4K, but it looked good. As a result, you can also run stuff side by side. So there is a split screen capability. So you could watch a Netflix video while you're working on a Word document. I don't know why you'd ever want to do that, but if there was the desire to do so, you can. And it's pretty cool. I mean, they work simultaneously. Oh, it's up and down, simultaneously alongside each other, and you can just swipe one away once you're done with it. It's pretty cool. Obviously, and this is one thing I wanted to, I just want to make sure I didn't want to show you guys anything else or anything in particular. I don't think so. That was pretty much all the cool stuff I want to see. But I mean, you guys can see that it just switches back and forth between apps really, really nicely. There's a nice full-size keyboard that works really good. And the text prediction is actually quite excellent. It's just a really good tablet, which is surprising to me based on the price. Obviously, build quality is lacking in some areas. The cameras are total crap, but in terms of performance, it's impressive. And battery life was, I wanted to mention that too, is really, really good. I've been using this thing all day long. I got it at like 12 p.m. I think. It's now midnight. It says 9:30 a.m., but it's now midnight. It's 12 hours later. I've been using the tablet all day, downloading stuff. This had screen on time, and it's at 32%, and it didn't even come fully charged. So it's done really marvelously in the battery department, which is surprising. And then obviously, I want to show you one more thing because I think it's really awesome. Other people probably won't care as much as I do, but this is the desktop version of Chrome. It is essentially a desktop. You can run desktop apps, and so Chrome runs relatively nicely. But if you can see this little cable, this is included. I'm really far away from my modem, by the way, so Wi-Fi performance isn't going to be super hot. But if you can see this cable here, in fact, it's so bad that I'm going to start rendering this song because it's streaming in lossless, which will take a little bit to buffer. This cable comes with it. It's a micro USB to USB female cable. So you can plug in anything you want. I'm going to plug in the Shitmodi DAC over there, which hooks up to the Woo Audio WA7 amplifier. All you have to do is plug it in here. And the second you plug it in, maybe, there you go. It'll turn on over there. And then when we go back here, it's still loading this song. Oh, there we go. And you can hear it. It's already coming out of my headphones. So that's pretty cool. I gotta admit, it was really quite impressive. So it's cool because I can stream full lossless quality from this cheap little $180 tablet to my $1,000 setup, and it sounds just as good as my MacBook would. And it's ironic because not even the iPad Air could do that. So it's just a really, really solid looking tablet. I'm really infatuated with the very low price. It does a great job at the things it does, and I can do a full video on it if you guys want to see one, maybe Friday when I'm done with my finals. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you'd be interested in. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay snazzy. See you later, folks.